Now, your first alert forecast.
Some pretty powerful storms out there.
Yeah, looking out to the west of Jacksonville. Bet we see that lightning this evening once the sun sets. Look at all this lightning and the thunderstorms lined up from north to south. And so it comes down to now, where are these storms going to go, and where, more importantly, are they going to be developing? Because they're not moving very quickly, or at least not shifting very quickly to the east, while individual cells move pretty quickly to the north. Meanwhile, there are showers offshore that, as expected, are weakening pretty quickly now as they move to the west-northwest. I don't think this is much of a concern. Maybe a brief shower at the coast later this evening, but that would be about it. This will be our main area of action. As you can see now, storms arcing from south central Georgia right across Columbia, parts of Baker County, and then southward to just to the north of Gainesville. As the sea breeze hit the cooler air pushed out from storms earlier in the day, these storms really ignited where you see all that lightning there, and this is where the active area will be tonight. From about Waycross, extending southward across Baker County, McClenny and Olustee and Sanderson, southward to Rayford and Lake Butler to Stark and nearby areas. Maybe getting some rain as far east as Highway 301, but I think the more intense storms will be a little bit farther west, and that's where we have the intense activity now over northern Columbia County back to almost into southwest, well, it is southwestern portions of Baker County, into Sargent at 628, Council at 633 with this cluster of intense storms over northern Columbia County. Storms now working their way toward I-10 in Baker County, so Olustee, a lot of lightning and thunder. It'll be pouring there shortly as these storms continue to expand and intensify just to the east of Lulu, and then continuing eastward into almost central portions now of Baker County. And another rapidly developing and intensifying storm just north of Highway 441 will be headed up into parts of Bradford and Union County. Brooker at 623, Worthington Springs at 626, Dukes at 632, and then Danville. Cells will also start to increase northward across Ware County up toward Waycross and Blackshear over the next hour or two as Jacksonville stays dry now. So are the beaches. The beaches will stay dry, and I think it's just the far west side of Duval County that might get a shot at a little bit of rain a little later on tonight. We sliced through this developing and intensifying storm over Baker County, not far from Olustee, nearly 50,000 feet high into the atmosphere. It is pouring underneath that storm, and a few of these storms may produce some hail and gusty winds. So at 7 o'clock this evening, hour by hour, it's still dry in the metro. Here are thunderstorms lined up between I-75 and Highway 301 with just a slight shift eastward through 10 p.m. And I think that's when we can see the lightning to the west of Jacksonville. This particular forecast model keeps it pretty active from McClenny back to Rayford and near Gainesville as late as midnight, with a little bit of light rain getting into the west side of Jacksonville, and then it just quickly falls apart thereafter. I don't think it's much, if anything, for I-95 east to the beaches. We'll have to keep a close eye on it. By 1 o'clock tomorrow, the sea breeze is headed inland again with an isolated shower, but most spots will have yet another dry day except for inland areas. For southeastern Georgia, here we at 7 p.m. with those storms intensifying northward to Waycross and Blackshear, just a little west of Folkestone, and then they fall apart in southeastern Georgia. The rain and the storms a little faster by midnight, with isolated showers developing with the sea breeze over far southeastern Georgia by noon tomorrow, with most of that activity well inland later in the day. It still is mainly a dry forecast, especially for the I-95 corridor and the beaches all the way through Friday, with highs in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Your weekend always in view in the First Alert 7-day forecast. And at least a few widely scattered storms start to pick up again, especially inland, both Saturday and Sunday. Still looks like long parts of your weekend will be dry. Upper 80s to around 90 degrees, and the showers and storms slowly increasing through the early part of next week. Otherwise, the wildfire danger stays high. ActionNewsJax.com. It's all of your latest First Alert weather, and you can check out the Buresh